Happy Father's Day. It's Dr. Rick. I'm doing my usual Sunday training at Swallow Cliff Stairs in Palos Hills. And it's free. There's not too many people. There's ample parking. And there's crowd control with police here. And it's excellent training if you're trying to acclimatize. And that's what my video is going to be for today. I've already finished my 10 laps. I did 5 laps with weight, 40-pound vest, 5 laps without. I'll eventually be able to get 20 laps with. That would be right before we leave for Colorado. The idea with acclimatizing is not only for altitude, and we'll never be able to get acclimated here in Chicago unless you actually go to Colorado. You can get acclimated to the difficulty with breathing, and that's with just challenging exercise. Those of you who have asthma, you know very well that when you're short of breath or when you trigger shortness of breath, even if it's not asthma, sometimes the fight or flight response actually will turn on asthma. So it's important for you to be comfortable. So the psychological comfort of challenging activity is important, and those of you who do CrossFit for an hour, I think that's cool. Climb a peak, especially if it's about 3,000 feet of elevation change within 3 miles to 5 miles. You will essentially have no break for a couple hours. And the longer the break, the longer it takes. And you do have a certain amount of time before sunset falls. So it's important to start early. It's also important for the sanctity of the group that you train so that you don't have to take too many breaks. Acclimating to training and persistent endurance training is important. Those of you who already do that, that's cool. The other thing is just getting used to the rubbing of the boots and the backpack is important. Breaking in your boots a week before, not a good idea. Breaking in your backpack 2 weeks before, not a good idea because you'll get rough spots and you have to change your fulcrum point on your body. So it's nice to get that stuff on now. We only have a couple weekends before August 26th. So I'd say start shopping now. REI is really good. Those of you who are thinking about coming, at least starting at the trailhead all together, I would say join the informational meeting at the Endorphin Effect Training Center next Saturday. And I'll have open invitations on my Facebook page, but next Saturday, 10:30 to 11, the Endorphin Effect Training Center in Bartlett. I'll be broadcasting and I'll be having a live event where we'll just have informational handouts on what to expect and how you should be training. Even if you're not going, it's important to consider training because you have camaraderie. If you haven't heard, there's still a pandemic going around in the southern hemisphere, and the likelihood is we're going to get hit with something in the fall. So get exercising now, lose that COVID weight now, and hopefully we'll all be healthy by the time it rolls around in fall of 2021 to the new year 2022. The other thing to get ready with is hydration. Those of you who stay super dry throughout the whole day, I think that's worthy, especially if you don't want to break from your work hour schedule. When we're going uphill and it's hot, like now, the bulb temperature, it's got to be 90 degrees, but it's about to rain. The idea would be you don't wait until dehydration and thirst kick in on the way to the summit. I would suggest that you take a break every half hour, 7 to 14 ounces. And everybody's a little different as far as their hydration and their salt status, but all together as a group, it's important to take breaks. And as you get to about 12,500, 13,000 feet, most of us will be gassed every 15 minutes, so we'll take breaks regularly. So it's important to get used to this hydration state. And then when you hydrate, you'll also have to pee. So it'd be nice to get that into a rhythm before we get to Colorado. We also have weather. If you're used to being indoors and air conditioned, it's going to be hot. We'll likely stay in an Airbnb or a hotel that's air conditioned, but for the most part, the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th will be hot and exposed. But for the most part, high elevation, there's no trees. And just in case, you might have to bring rain gear. And if you haven't broken in any rain gear or done any wet hiking, it's important to test out that equipment as well. Finally, with regards to nutrition, that you don't really have to break in, but if you're still on the hook for sugar, high carbohydrates, and eating late at night, you're not supposed to be doing that. And if you're still carb heavy and not fat adapted on the trail, you're going to probably hit the wall somewhere about 3 hours. So it's important to have this rhythm of pulsed fast and feed. So if you're not sure what that means, come to the open house on the 26th at the Endorphin Effect and I'll teach you. Bottom line is stay safe, get healthy, find a reason to be healthy, and I'll see you at the next video.